joined Katkata, which is an NGO that worked in a red light area in Delhi, I decided that I also want to explore how bigger NGOs are operated. And I came across Shatakshi's video on YouTube about consulting, policy consulting, and I applied on a whim. I got through. I think I've had a lot of help in just knowing how the consulting industry is. Otherwise, I wouldn't have considered it. If it wasn't for this fellowship, I would have thought that it's too corporate and it may not align with my line of work. The people who were a part of GGI were really, interested in cracking into a consulting job, and they were extremely helpful. The cohort is like of very enthusiastic people, and nobody is just doing it passively. They're very, very active participants. 6 months at GGI were amazing.
Priya, why don't you introduce yourself to the world, and most importantly, at what stage in your life did you find about us at Global Governance Initiative?
My name is Priya Krishnan. I studied biotech engineering, but while I was there, I got really pulled into volunteering with a Rotaract club, and that's when I decided that I want to start my own NGO and really work with the youth. And that's what I did in the final year of my college. I started an organization called Himalayan Club Trust, which works towards engaging young people in community service. And that's what I started in my final year of college, and didn't go into the engineering direction. Instead, worked with the university for 2 years because I was working with the young people. And then during COVID, I worked with an edtech firm. And after 4 years, I decided I really need to get some grassroots experience to, move forward my own work. And that's when I joined Katkata, which is an NGO that works in a red light area in Delhi. I joined there as a program manager, and I managed a learning center for children who are growing up in brothels. And I also got to live in a rehabilitation center, which is for trafficked women. So I had an intense 2 years experience of working with a grassroots NGO. That is when I decided that I also want to explore, how bigger NGOs are operated or how operations are carried at scale. And I came across Shatakshi's video on YouTube about consulting, policy consulting. And I applied on a whim. I got through, and 6 months at GGI were amazing. And then I just followed whatever Shatakshi told me, whatever my buddy told me. I diligently worked on my CV and interviews, and then got into Sattva Consulting. So now I work as an associate consultant there.
Beautiful, very powerful and fantastic line of work. Very true to the purpose, Priya. So what will be 3 things that really stood out for you personally during your GGI fellowship journey?
Right. So one is I really appreciate the buddy network. I think the people who were a part of GGI were really, interested in cracking into a consulting job, and they were extremely helpful. So I had a lot of help in case prepping with the buddy Abhay Aluwalia, and then many others, Lokesh also. And so I think the cohort is like of very enthusiastic people, and nobody is just doing it passively. They're very, very active participants. Second is I really appreciate the office hours, because the time with you doing some case preps right before my interview, and also, working on my CV really helped me in, cracking the interview process. And finally, I think I've had a lot of help in just knowing how the consulting industry is. Otherwise, I wouldn't have considered it. If it wasn't for this fellowship, I would have thought that it's too, corporate and it may not align with my line of work. But then after attending the whole fellowship, I was convinced that this is something that I would be really good at and would really like to do.
Very beautiful. I think, and I firmly believe, a lot of GGI alums like you come back and vouch for the community, because it's the community that really pushes you ahead. Not just at GGI, I think that's just for all players of life as well. With that, let's talk about your interview experience, let's say latest with Sattva Consulting. Were there any specific components of GGI curriculum that helped you navigate your interview experience or cracking the consulting aspect of the interview at Sattva Consulting?
So I had 4 rounds of interviews. The first 2 were purely case interviews round, and these were cases related to foundations and the non-profit sector. And I think GGI's module, the Schrodinger and the Trinity also really helped me refine my structure and present it well, so I could crack it. And I also remember I did an office hour with you where you were like, "Oh, this is a 1 out of 5, Priya. You need to really work harder." And after that, I did, and so I refined my structure more. I learned more. I read a bit more, and then I was finally able to get through.
Got it. I'm glad that you were able to improve your score. Congratulations once again. Last question, Priya. There will be young professionals who will want to to join GGI but will have certain level of anxiety, certain level of hope also, and some trust. Like you were joining GGI at some point of time, what will be your message to the class of 2025?
I would say just give it your all. You've already, joined and you're starting a new journey. Give it your all. Explore everything that GGI has to offer. Do the assignments, do the lessons, do the Trinity, the Schrodinger, get on the office hours also, get on the startup weekend also, and get to explore the whole thing. There is no pressure to get into this line of work if that is what is bothering you. Just do the whole thing, do it to the best of your abilities, and who knows, maybe you find something new. Yeah, good luck.
Perfect.